Let's get to Victoria out of California on the line.
Victoria, welcome to church.
Hi, Jesse. Hi, James. How are you?
Hey there. We miss seeing you at church.
I know. I wish I was there today, but this will do.
It's kind of weird being sitting in an empty building, huh?
A little bit.
It is. I was calling you because I wanted to just let you know what happened during my trip to Vegas to forgive my dad.
Okay. I've been thinking about that. I know you went, and I talked to you while you were there. So Victoria went to Las Vegas to deal with her father, to forgive him. So you arrived in Vegas, and what happened?
So as soon as I got there, the whole town was like shut down. They basically, like casinos and stuff were still open, but they shut them down literally right when I got there.
Right.
So I was able to go, check into my room and all that stuff. So that part was okay. And then, as you know, I called you the next day to get your advice because I had tried the 2 phone numbers that I had for my dad.
Right.
And neither one of them worked. Right?
Yes.
So, you told me, okay, the only other option is to drive over there and try to see him. So, that's basically what I did. Like, as soon as I hung up with you, I drove to the address that I had. And,
let me ask you this. Before you get there, what was that drive like for you? You're driving over there, what are you thinking?
Driving over, I was actually excited because I figured I was going over there to do something that was going to improve my life and hopefully give him peace as well.
Yes.
So I was nervous, but every time that happened, I realized, that I was thinking, and that, like I told you before, like, I recognized that the emotions were coming because I was thinking about them. So amazing. I caught myself doing that and then just, tried to stop it as best as I could. But, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, the nervousness definitely kept building up during the drive over there. And I was actually surprised at how quickly I got there. So that was also like, oh, okay, it's the quickest 30 minutes of my life, to be honest with you.
So you get there, and?
Yeah. So I got there, and he lives in a gated community. So I already knew that was going to be a challenge, especially with what's going on right now.
Yes.
So there was a security guard at the front gate, and I told him who I was, and, I'm his daughter. She checks the guest list. I'm not on it. So she calls him, and my dad's wife picks up the phone. So at first, she pretended not to know who I was, but she definitely knows who I am. I have, my dad's last name. So the wife ends up putting my dad on the phone. And my dad tells the security guard, after, she announces who I am, he tells the security guard that it's not a good time and that I couldn't come in.
Amazing.
So I know, and the security guard asked him again, like I could hear her on the phone, like trying to see, and she kept saying, "Are you sure? I mean, your daughter's here to see you." Like she kept, I could hear her saying that.
Yes. And,
then she just said, "Okay, sir," and then she hung up the phone. So she came back and she said, he said it's not a good time, and that was basically it. And then, so of course, I mean, I was pretty upset. So after a few minutes, I decided, just to turn around, obviously. And she's like, okay, well, if you need to, just sit here for a second. And she said, well, try to write him a letter or something, and we'll try to see if we can pass it on to him. So I did that and gave her the letter. And she says, you know what? I would try tomorrow if I were you. Like, I would try to come back. And immediately I thought, no, I don't want to do that, but okay, whatever. So I gave her the note just in case I didn't decide to come back.
Yes.
And I went to go see, some Bond folks that moved to Vegas, and we were talking about it, and they basically kind of said the same thing, like, you should try again, because he didn't necessarily say no. He just said it wasn't a good time. So I said, okay. So then the next day, it was very, very difficult for me because I was really battling with going or not going. So I just kind of sat there for a second and decided to drive back. So anyway, I drove back, and basically the same thing happened. But this time my dad didn't pick up the phone at all. Like his wife got on the phone with the security guard and basically just said no. Like, she can't come in, and that's it. So the thing that I do actually regret about this is that the security guard did say something to me where she said, I can't let you in. And then she kind of thought about it, and she said, but do you want to see the golf course? Like, do you want to go in and see the golf course? And I thought about it, and I told her no, because I didn't want for anybody's job to be jeopardized or anything.
Yes.
And I did let my thoughts get the best of me because I figured, okay, they could call the police, they could tell their HOA, the security guard could get fired. Like, I started thinking about all the things that could happen if I took her up on that offer.
Yes.
But she did try to help me, so I'm not sure what to do now, because also the note that I gave to them the day before, the person that could have taken it didn't want to risk dropping that note at my dad's house because they said that the wife sounded so angry when they were on the phone with her.
Right. So you're not sure what to do now? Are you back home in LA now?
I am back home.
Oh,
yeah.
Good. That is an amazing story, Victoria. That's like a mind-blowing story.
I know, and it was a long drive home. And like I said, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't cry,
I bet.
Yeah. So I think what makes me... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, finish the point.
I was just going to say, I think what makes me the most sad, and actually I know what it is, it's just that I can see now that my dad is very weak.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't know what to do with that, because I feel like now I'm probably never going to see him again. And I mean, if that's like God's will, then okay. But I don't know what to do now.
What you do
he didn't
now?
even get the letter. Like, he didn't get anything.
What you
but
do
he knows
now?
that I was there,
Yeah. Why? If you spoke directly to him and he knew that it was you were there, you should wash your hand of it now. Be done with it. You've done all that you could do. Just forgive him and just live. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. There's nothing else you could do because you can't force him to see you. You can't force the truth on anyone. But just wish him well and move on with your life. You've done what is required, and what is required is to go and forgive. You tried. Forgive him and just live your life. God is with you. You'll be fine.
That's the thing, Jesse. It's like I have moments where I think I know that, and then the doubt kind of creeps in, like, well, she did say you could go into the golf course, and you
did right for not going in there, because number one, if someone don't want you at their home, you can't force it. You shouldn't force it, and you can't, because had you gone in there and gone up to the door, they may have treated you even worse. So I'm glad that you didn't take up the offer to go in there. And I'm glad that you didn't think about that woman too, because it sounded like she was trying to help you. Maybe she didn't consider the consequence of letting someone into a gated community if they have said, don't do it. So I'm glad you were thinking of her and yourself in that way. But I'm glad you did right. Don't go in there. Be done with it though. You can't. God is your Father. He'll love you. You'll be fine. And you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring anyway, so just live now. Wash your hand of it, let the dust hit your feet, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And just doubt every thought, because the thought want to use it they want to use that situation to play on your emotions, so you can doubt yourself, you can get into depression, all kind of madness. You have nothing to be unhappy about at this time.
Yeah.
And you never know, your father, may wake up one day and say, how did I do that to my daughter? You just don't know. So just wish him well, wish that woman he was well, so that you don't hold grudges, and your life will be fine. You're doing fine.
Yeah, thank you for that, because that was my biggest thing. I guess I'm not. I know that it's not all him. Like, I know that, because just the fact that the wife is the one that kind of, she blocks a lot. And I told you that happened the time I saw him.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, she did the exact same thing. And but at least I did actually get to see him and speak to him that time. So
yeah. Well, one thing, it's your father's fault. It's totally 100% his fault that he can't see you or won't see you. He's been controlled by some woman. It's his fault for that. You can't blame that woman that he's weak. Maybe, I don't know the situation, but maybe she's using things to keep him weak. But it's not her fault that he allows that to happen, that he won't even see his own child. That is 100% your father's fault, because he's old enough to overcome that. But still, wash your hand of it. You did the right thing by not going in there to see them, pretending like you were seeing a golf course or something like that. So that was absolutely the right thing. I wouldn't have done that either. I wouldn't have gone in. If they don't want to see me, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I don't want to see you either. I've tried. But just don't resent it. Move on with your life and forget about that.
all right, that was really what I wanted to know as far as like your advice with it, because now, I've been home alone, and like I said, I can't lie. Like, my thoughts are coming and going, and like I kept thinking about, just seeing him when I was a kid and things like that. Yeah. It's not like he was never there. Like, I didn't know who my dad was. It's like he was there, and then he disappeared. But I like I said, I kind of know the backstory about why that happened. But
yes.
Well, that was it. Like I said, I just wanted to share the story with you and get your perspective on what.
I want to remind you, you did the right thing for not going in. The lady was going to let you in. You did the right thing by saying no to that. So don't let Satan play on your mind. Oh, what would have happened if? You should have done this, or you should have done. No, you didn't. If they didn't tell you to come in, you're at the gate, and you're on the phone with both of them, and they didn't tell you to come in, that means you're not welcome. And I never want to go anywhere where I'm not welcome. And secondly, whatever your father's condition is, it's on him now. You move on and have a life. Stay out of your head about it, all right?
Okay, that was it, because that was the last thing I needed to do to really get my life started.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're fine. Stay out of your head. You're doing fine. Live in the present, and you're going to see you're doing just fine. All is well.
All right.
God bless you.
Oh, thank you, Jesse. I'm so glad I finally told you about this. So,
Me too.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the time today, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, I hope so. We will. Absolutely.
All right. Well, have a good rest of the day, you guys.
Thank you. You too. That's an amazing story. Yes, bye now. Going to see your father, you're at the door, you're at the gate, and whatever reason he said no. Whoa.
Is it because of the coronavirus?
She thinks it's because of his wife.
Oh, okay.
Her so-called stepmother.
Right.
This is why you're not supposed to have so-called step-parents, folks. Stay away from step-parents. If you divorce, don't do it over. If you break up and you have kids, don't do it over. Because these people, they're jealous, and the kids never accept it anyway. Stay away from step-parents. It wasn't meant to be that way, all right? It doesn't work.